What's up, YouTube? It's your boy Casey Bishop here with Team Shuffles. Today we're doing a featured deck profile of Kozmos, and I am here with
Josh.
What's up, Josh?
What's up, dude?
Okay, so tell us a little bit about your deck. Let's do the profile. See what.
Alrighty.
See what we got.
We have Kozmo with the, I don't want to say new support, it's not direct support, but with the new stuff that came out in Rising Rampage, it actually makes this deck a lot better. So we start with 3 of the big Mamma Jamma Dark Destroyer.
The shittiest card in that whole.
Shut your mouth. He's the best monster in the deck. He's untargetable. He pops on summon, and he floats just like every other machine on here. He's the reason why you play the deck. I play 1 Forerunner. He's also not targetable, and during your standby phase you gain 1,000 life points because a lot of the pilots and stuff you have to pay the life points for, so it's always nice to get that back. And he floats as well. 1 Landwalker, which I just recently put in. He's good because if you're sitting on Kozmo Town and he can protect by popping another Kozmo card, then he can pop your Kozmo Town, keep your monsters on board, and then get a search. So he's nice in that. Plus you can scale down better, because I didn't have a level 6 before. I just go from 7 to 5. So if Destroyer gets destroyed, you can go into Forerunner. If Forerunner gets destroyed, you can go into Landwalker. If Landwalker gets destroyed, you can go into Slip Rider, and so on. So he's good. And then 3 Slip Rider. He's your back row pop. He is not as good as the big guys. He is targetable, but his spell and trap destruction is good, especially if you're sitting on Kozmo Town. You can pop it and then search and keep going. But he's good. He floats into your pilots. Speaking of pilots, one of your best pilots is Tin Can. Not only can they tag out to summon a ship from your hand, but then his end phase effect is you can add 3 random Kozmo cards, have your opponent pick 1, and then the other 2 go to grave. So it's a good way to get your Dark Destroyer or Cosmojo or whatever you're hunting for. And he's a 1-for-1 target. I play 2 Sword Troopers. I like him because he gets you more pilots back from the graveyard if for whatever reason they were destroyed or they were sent or you link off or whatever. So he can extend a little more to get you more advantage on the field. So he's good. I wouldn't play him at 3 though. 1 Strawman, which I realize it's gold rare. I don't like gold rare, but he helps to pull something back from your banish pile. So if you banished a Dark Destroyer to float into a Forerunner, and next turn you can use him to bring him back, but his effect isn't gated, so you don't get to pop. But at least it's a body. And then probably your best pilot next to Tin Can is Farm Girl. And she's nice because if you have a monster on board already, like if you have a Dark Destroyer sitting here, then you can attack with Dark Destroyer, attack with Farm Girl. If she does battle damage, then you add another one, and you tag her out, and then bring in the other one, pop the one that you had attacked already, and then attack you. That's basically your OTK factor. So Farm Girl's really good for that. I don't like running 1 because I feel like there's always random situations where you don't have game, even though you think you do. So I always run 2. And then 1 Dark Lady. I don't go into her very often, but she is nice when you're running a monster heavy, going against a monster heavy deck, so you can negate it. But she can tag out just like the rest of the pilots. That's it for monsters. And I run 2 Kozmo Town. And there's a reason why I run 2 instead of 3, because I was running 3, but with the new support from Rising Rampage, it's like a Kozmo Town on steroids, which I'll get into in a minute. But really good field spell. Not only can you add stuff back from your banish pile, but then you can shuffle, like if you're sitting on too many monsters, you can shuffle them back and then draw 2. And then if this is destroyed, you can search for a Kozmo card. So really nice. 1 E-Telly, because it's E-Telly. I wish this was at 3, but it is what it is. Gets your stuff from hand or from deck. 1-for-1. This is really nice to combo with Back to the Front, because if you activate this to dump like a Dark Destroyer and then summon out your Tin Can from deck, then you activate Back to the Front, and then now you're sitting on 2. So So really good to gain advantage on the field. One reasoning, your opponent calls 8, or you win, because nobody wants to see Dark Destroyer, and if Dark Destroyer doesn't come up, then something else will. So reasoning's really good in this deck, and then Monster Reborn. And then for draw power, we run 2 Duality. If there was another option to draw for this deck, I would run it, because sometimes the special summon can hurt a little bit, or the lack of special summon because you activate this card. But for the most part, this works really well because it helps dig into your deck a little deeper. The best draw for this deck is Extravagance. If you can open this, you have a very high chance of winning the game, because it's basically a pot of greed, because nobody cares about the extra deck with this deck. So just be careful that you don't lock yourself into the
I would like to say this is not a budget deck.
No, it's not. And then 1 Upstart, because it's an Upstart. And then Traps. I run 2 Kozmo. I was running 3 because I ran Trap Trick in here before, but I cut the Trap Tricks because I had to run so many. I was running so trap heavy that the consistency kind of fell. So you just run 2. It's searchable, and it's a easy removal. And then 2 Storming Mirror Force, which is really, I realize I'm a scrub because I run gold, but this is really nice because you can, as long as they don't negate it or pop it, they lose everything. So that's really good. And then 2 Torrential Tribute. This basically doesn't affect Kozmo at all because you can float into anything, and then they lose whatever they have. So that's really good. 3 Back to the Front. I think this is better than Call the Haunted, because this doesn't tie to your monster. So if once this is gone, you still got it. So if you can do it in end phase, that's the best.
Right. Plus it's also a pop. Like if you
if you summon Dark Destroyer, it's an extra pop. Yep.
So.
And then the spicy tech that I added to this deck is Storm Dragon's Return. This is the one I was talking about out of Rising Rampage. This, you can target a banished monster and then special summon it to your field and then bring it back to your hand at the end phase. So you can special Dark Destroyer from your banished pile and pop, and then it goes back to your hand. And then if you have a pilot in your hand already, then you can get another pop on your next turn.
Right.
If you special a tin can on end phase, then you can search on end phase and then bring it back to your hand. If you're sitting on a big guy. So this is what I basically said is a Kozmo Town on steroids, because not only do you get the special and then the pop if it's a Dark Destroyer, but you also get it back to your hand and then can keep going the next after that.
Right. That's some spicy tech, dude.
Yeah, that's pretty good. And then extra deck, which
nobody cares.
It is what it is. Nobody really cares with Kozmo, but you go into it every once in a while. I run Cyber Dragons in the side deck, so Fortress for Orcust, and then Mega Fleet, and then Super Poly targets. So we run 2 Violet Chimera and 2 Starting Venom Fusion Dragon. I don't know how much, we haven't seen much in the format since the new ban list, so I don't know if this is going to be relevant or not, but those 2. And then, and you run multiples of everything because you run Extravagance. So you run 2 of everything as much as you can. That way, if something gets banished, there's still a good chance you still have more of them. Right. 2 Cerberus, 2 Phoenix, for obvious reasons. 2 Cleafort, and then 2 Underclock. And you'd be surprised how often Underclock comes up in this deck. And that is the extra deck. And then onto the side deck, we run 3 Cyber Dragon for going second, because this deck doesn't do as well going second because of how many traps I run. 3 Super Poly, which I forgot to put in my other secret rare, so it is what it is.
Scrub out, bro.
Right. And then 3 Artifact Sanctum and an Artifact Scythe to go with.
I got a question.
Yes.
The Slip Rider, can it pop any spell or trap?
Yeah, Slip Rider can hit.
Like on either player's field?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So Slipper, if you have this set, is that right? I think you can. Oh no, by an opponent's card. But yeah, Slip Rider can pop your own stuff as
Right,
well.
but you could pop the Scythe too.
Right,
like
as long
on
as
your
it's
turn.
on their turn. Yep.
Right, or on their turn. I mean.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Yep. So the artifact package, and then 3 evenly matched. Because like I said, sometimes this deck struggles going second.
Right.
And then 2 Heavy Storm Duster. I might swap these out for Twin Twisters, just because I was running the Heavy Storm Duster when I ran Trap Trick, but now that I don't have Trap Trick, I can't switch it out anymore.
Right.
So I'll probably swap it to Twins, but that is the deck, my friend.
Okay. Any shout outs?
Yeah, shout out to Casey Bob behind the camera. We were playtesting, and this idea came up because he was doing DDR, and I don't like DDR because you have to discard. Sometimes you need to keep your stuff, and that idea came up, so he helped me get to that. Shout out to Postboard for always having our locals. Shout out to all my boys, Team Shuffles, and yeah, that's what I got, bro.
All right, man. Well, let's have a great run this year. Let's get our invites.
Let's do it, baby.
All right. Out.